One of my very favorite parts about reading comics over the past couple of years is getting the opportunity to see a character that I think really won't work actually be great in the scope of their own comic book series. In fact, today I wanted to go ahead and talk about Marvel Comics' Venom property, and I wanted to explain just how fantastic Marvel's brand new Venom series is in really expanding the scope of what a lot of people think that the Venom property can achieve. My name is Arako Braddock, and today let's go ahead and dive deep into Venom number 10 to see all of these science fiction elements really coalesce into something special. But before we dive any deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if it's your first time checking out our content. And if you like this content, why not go ahead and click that like button as well. Without further ado, let's dive deep into Venom number 10, published by Marvel Comics. This issue is written by the incredible Al Ewing. Ram V has written some issues of the series in the past as well. This issue is penciled by Bryan Hitch, inked by Andrew Currie, with color art from Alex Sinclair. We have letters and production by VC's Clayton Cowles, and the cover is illustrated by Bryan Hitch and Alex Sinclair. So let's go ahead and read off Marvel Comics' solicitation text for the issue. The colossal capstone to the second arc of this epic new era of Venom. Torn across space and time through the symbiote hive, Eddie Brock's soul is pushed to its absolute limit. Manipulated and maligned by forces stronger than himself, Eddie has no choice but to watch in horror as his son Dylan and the Venom symbiote are stabbed in the heart by Bedlam. And next up, let's go ahead and show off this excellent cover for Venom number 10, which is from also Hitch and Sinclair as well. Big thanks to Adventures in Poor Taste for providing this preview for Venom number 10. Let's go ahead and just kick the deep dive into the issue off by exploring the artwork from Bryan Hitch in the series. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about my exposure and, some of my experience on a personal level with Bryan Hitch's art. So I have always been a fan of Hitch, but always thought that his style was a little more kind of contemporary and kind of, in Marvel's traditional house style. But I noticed that there was a slight change in his art to be a little bit more streamlined with the recent Hawkman series published across the pond over at DC Comics, written by Robert Venditti. So I really found that this issue of Venom, if it isn't already apparent from these preview pages, really pushes the medium of comics to the limit. I think this is a great way to reinterpret Hitch's style again to show that he's able to, take on pages with more elements, with, some horror moments. And it's just so funny how much this issue in particular also calls upon, some vibes from the Immortal Hulk series, which was also written by Venom number 10 writer Al Ewing as well. So I'm sure that can't be, any sort of coincidence. But I can't say enough how much I appreciate just how detailed Hitch's work is, and how Hitch takes this unconventional script from Ewing and really manages to go, deep and dark with some of these visual aspects here. This symbiote kind of, surrounding Dylan Brock on this page is just not anywhere near some of the most horrific pages of the series. But I think this page in particular that we're looking at right now is a wonderful showcase for some of the unconventional ways that Alex Sinclair chooses to color in the palette on, these really wild pages that have, so much kind of motion and not as much formal page structure. But this is still Bryan Hitch, so it's really easy to follow the interiors, even though they managed to get incredibly wild, as reflective of the issue itself. So I really enjoyed the script from Venom number 10, but I can tell you that I'm pretty sure the reason why I enjoyed the script so much is because of likely some of the work that Venom co-writer Ram V has done over the past couple issues to really kind of flesh out and expand the characters of both Dylan and Eddie Brock. And really what this issue does is kind of cash in the chips and really kind of explore, this garden setting, the new villain of Meridius, and some of those additional symbiotes that, have been following, Eddie around over in the garden from the past couple issues of the series. And over time, I've started to begin to realize that the major theme of this Venom series has to do with the nature of time itself. We keep getting all of these scenes in different perspectives that were shown in previous issues, and it just shows how tight the plotting of this series is as a whole from Ewing and Ram V. I've already kind of gone back and read a couple of the previous issues, and it's been so terrifying to read them, and because you can sort of understand the subtext after you've read further issues deeper down the line. But I just love how Ewing and Ram V kind of keep some things to their chest while revealing others. This character, this villain of Meridius, is particularly an interesting villain, and this is finally the issue where Ewing and V kind of pull the curtain off of the table and finally reveal just who Meridius is in the first place. I think I can tell you that knowing the identity of Meridius does not make me feel any less scared about this issue or the series. I'm shocked that there's a Marvel comic that's actually able to make me legitimately scared. But when I go back and look through and see how kind of Meridius had a plan and was orchestrating time in such a way, it really does bring out so much of the horror elements in this comic book. And that feeling is why I really want to go ahead and recommend Venom as a whole series, not just with issue 10. I think at first this series is a little slow, but over time the series really kind of starts to pick up and show you kind of more and more of the cards up its sleeve as the kind of title as a whole begins to progress. All of these symbiotes finally have more of a driving purpose, and there's just a little bit more urgency now to the story, which was really kind of ironed out from a character and plot perspective. Also, if you are interested in reading a Venom series that has a ton of plot, this is the comic book for you. I'm a huge fan of this kind of direction of Venom, and I want to know if you like this issue as much as I did. Thank you guys so much for coming to check out the video, and I'll see you very soon for the next one. Bye.